You're watching a Spanish show on Netflix. Subtitles on, you understand maybe half of what's being said. You finish the episode, feel productive, and move on to the next one. But here's the question. What did you actually learn? If your answer is, I don't know, you're not alone. And that's the problem. Most people treat listening like a passive activity. They binge podcasts, YouTube videos, TV shows, whatever's entertaining, and call it immersion. But immersion without intention is just entertainment. And entertainment doesn't get you fluent. So what does? Listening like a hunter. Let me explain. Imagine you're in a forest. You're not there to enjoy the scenery, you're there to hunt. Your eyes scan the trees, your ears tune in to every snap of a twig. You're tracking prey, focused, alert, intentional. That's how you need to listen to your target language. Not passively absorbing, not hoping something sticks, but actively hunting for specific things. Grammar patterns, slang, tone shifts, rhythm, the way native speakers actually use the language in real time. Every sentence becomes a target. Every rewatch has a mission. Here's the difference. Most learners hit play on a podcast and just zone out. They're multitasking, cooking, scrolling, whatever. They finish and think, well, I listened for 20 minutes. That counts, right? But a hunter doesn't work that way. A hunter picks one thing to focus on. This time it's intonation. How does the speaker's voice rise and fall? Where's the emphasis? Next time, maybe it's modal verbs, should, could, would, or slang, or sentence structure. You get it. One prey, one hunt, one rewatch at a time. And here's the kicker. Your brain doesn't remember what you casually hear. It remembers what you pay attention to repeatedly. Attention actually magnifies acquisition. That's not a theory, that's just neuroscience. Now let me tell you someone that I talked to a few months back. Since he's one of my students, we'll keep him anonymous and give him the name Charlie. Charlie had been learning French for almost a year. Watching French YouTube every day, TV shows, podcasts during his commute, he was putting in the hours. Felt great about it, felt productive. But when I asked him what he'd learned that week, he went quiet. I mean, I guess I can follow along better now? That's basically all he said. So I had him try something. I asked him to rewatch a 10-minute video he'd seen the day before and pause every single time a word came up that he thought he knew. Turns out, he knew maybe 5 or 6. The rest were just vibes, context cues. He was guessing. He wasn't hunting per se, he was just grazing. So we changed the game. Charlie started keeping what we call a hunt log, just a simple note on his phone. Every time he watched or listened to something, he'd pick one specific thing to hunt for. Maybe it was pronouns like je, tu, il, elle. Or maybe it was how people ask questions, the difference between formal and casual. He'd rewatch the same 5-minute segment 3 or 4 times, each time with a different target. The first pass was just to get the gist, understand the story. The second pass is hunt for one grammar structure. How many times does it show up? How is it being used? The third pass, focus on pronunciation. How does their mouth move? Where's the stress? The fourth pass, grab any slang or colloquial phrases. Write them down and try to use them later in your output session. And suddenly, he wasn't just immersing, he was learning. By the way, if this idea of intentional, structured input sounds like something that you want help with, I built an entire system around it. Just check the link in the description. Okay, now back to hunting. Here's why this works so well. When you hunt, you're toggling between 2 modes, wide listening and narrow listening. Wide listening is when you're getting the big picture, the gist, the vibe. You're not stressing over every single word. You're just following along, letting your brain soak in the rhythm and flow of your target language. Narrow listening is when you zoom in. You're laser focused on one specific element. Maybe it's verb tenses, maybe it's how questions are formed, maybe it's the difference between formal and informal speech. To tell you the truth, most people only do wide listening. They never zoom in, so they never actually catch anything. But hunters toggle. Wide to get context, narrow to get details. Then wide again to see how those details fit into the bigger picture. That back and forth, that's where the magic happens. Let me give you a concrete example. Let's say you're learning Spanish and you're watching a YouTube video about street food in Mexico City. You've watched it once already, you got the gist, cool. Now, rewatch it. But this time, your mission is simple. Hunt for the word que. How many times does it show up? What does it mean in each context? Is it that? Is it what? Is it part of a phrase like lo que? You're not trying to understand the whole video perfectly. You're just tracking que. By the way, my Spanish isn't the best, so hopefully I said that okay. If I didn't, go ahead and roast me in the comments. Next, rewatch. Different prey. Maybe you're hunting for past verbs, or the way the speaker uses diminutives, ito, ita. Each hunt gives you a specific win, a specific thing you can now recognize, understand, and eventually use. So here is your action plan. Step 1 is pick a piece of content, a YouTube video, a podcast episode, a scene from a show, whatever you like. But it has to be something you've already watched once and understood at least 60 to 70% of. Step 2 is decide what you're hunting for. one thing. I'm talking grammar, pronunciation, slang, sentence structure, pick one. Step 3, rewatch with that target in mind. Pause when you catch it, write it down, say it out loud, and make it active. Step 4 is keep a hunt log. Could be a note app on your phone, a document, a physical notebook, it really does not matter. Just track what you caught. Step 5 is to review your log once a week. Those words, those patterns, those phrases, try to use them in conversations, in writing, even just talking to yourself. That's it. 5 steps, no fancy tools, no expensive apps, just intention. And look, I get it, this takes effort. It's easier to just hit play and zone out. But if you've been stuck at the same level for months or years, this is why. You're not listening wrong, you're just not listening intentionally. So stop grazing and start hunting. And if you want a complete system that shows you exactly how to do this, along with everything else you need to go from 0 to conversational fluency in just 200 days, then again, take a look at the link in the description. That's where I personally help people build the skills, the habits, and the confidence to finally speak a new language. Not someday, not eventually, in 200 days. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Now go hunt.